Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode of I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. In the last episode, we just did a couple stuff, hung out with people, and did a lot of exploring on the plains, which we usually don't do. But we're almost done with all the fitness stuff, so I thought we would try some other things. If you do enjoy this episode, remember to like and subscribe. I am a little loopy, I am tired, and my mic went down for some reason, so hopefully the volume just went up. And our bestie needs to speak with us. Leave the front gates and see Dis talking to one of the senior surveyors. He's listening intently to their instructions, and the surveyor hands him a satchel of instruments and claps him on the shoulder before walking away. Dis turns to you. Hey, Ophelia, he says. He hikes the satchel on his shoulder and gives you a shy smile. I'm still kind of weird to be allowed to be outside the walls. Remember when we used to sneak out? His eyes crinkle in the corners. It's so easy to avoid Chief Surveyor Tonin, he says wistfully. He ducks his head. Too bad he's dead. He really is nice to me. What's the weirdest thing you've seen? Dis looks up at the sky with a thoughtful look. There's this big rock in the western ridge that's almost totally flat on top. When you get near it, it makes me feel happy. He smiles. It's so strange, and it's really hard to leave. The first time I went there, I laid top of it for so long that I almost missed the transport back. I know it's my job, but I've told anyone about it yet. I don't know what to explain it, but it's almost like it wants to be kept a secret. Sounds kind of romantic. An isolated place that makes you feel good, yeah. This blinks at you, like the thought truly hadn't crossed his mind. He frowns. I guess, he says, as if the words taste bad in his mouth. Oh. It looks pretty busy. Okay. Maybe I just won't have a romance partner. That's fine. Hi, girly. Your friend Nami is in the lounge, flanked by two holoscreens and doodling in the sketchbook with real paper. On holoscreen is playing an animated kids show, while the other of the wall texts that looks like it might be translation guide of some kind. Nami's attention moves between the three easily. When they see you, they jump and quickly close their holoscreen, sitting up straight and clutching their sketchbook on their chests. Oh, hi! Oh, hey, Ophelia. How'd you doing? It's okay, you can watch cartoons here. Nami relaxes a little, breathing an exaggerated sigh of relief. Good, because I really like cartoons. Nami sets their sketchbook aside and looks around conspiratorially. I thought you were going to bust me for jailbreaking my holopad. All the Helio kids have restrictions on what you can watch and for how long, but you guys have so many more cartoons than we had. Like the first season of Turbo Girl Hyperjet Transformer. What? I love that. I remember that. I love that. I love that. What? Nami cries, slapping their hands on their cheeks. Really? It's the best cartoon ever made. What else has schoolgirls who look like aircrafts from the waist down battling evil aliens while dealing with the stress of high school life? You have to agree, you're pretty fond of the arc in the third season where Kamiya and Otoko disagreed about whether Haruka could truly be considered a hyperjet if she was part helicopter. The Helio Media Archive only had season 2 through 9, and only 3 of the OVAs. I can't believe the 4th OVA, Flight Captain Yumiko, gets captured by the aliens and brainwashed and thinking she's been an alien sleeper agent the whole time. Is that what you're drawing? Amelia, don't peek! Nami laughs and flits over her sketchbook, showing off some of her drawings. I was drawing some fan art for the show. Well, it's kind of fan art, okay? It's really more like if I was a character in the Hyper Turbojet Transform. What kind of aircraft would you be? Oh, well, okay, kind of. You see, all of the cool aircrafts are already taken, and it's rude to be double. They press the tip of their index finger together and look thoughtfully. Sometimes I draw myself, my character as something weird, like a hot air balloon. But then I think, it would be kind of cool if I was a only regular human in Turbo Girl Hyperjet. You... We're gonna relax on the wall. Actually, what is our friendship with that? 64. We're only at 19 with Rex. Let's go hang out with Rex a little bit. Hi, Cal. Relax in the lounge. Rex and Nami are teaching the other kids sound remembering game where they learned on the Helio. Everyone takes turns adding the sound to a pattern, then working backwards, making the same sounds all the way backwards to the beginning. Red starts with the humming. Nami adds a sound rustling leaves and repeats the adds a whistling noise and trippet and then rustles, then a Then Diz's turn. He adds an ear-piercing screech like a bouncing weasel, and everyone holds their ears and says there's no way they're adding that to the pattern. Why not? Let's get rid of a 1. Excuse me. Lookout duty. Defense training. Combat animal. Let's do one of these. Sometimes worrying animals get under the walls. Maybe they didn't mean to end up here, but they are here, and that's your job to get rid of them. Today's pest is a whole extended family of DOS moles around furry creatures that multiply really fast. One pregnant DOS mole can become a problem within a few days, and because they live underground, you don't notice them until it's a big problem. The dust moles are insectivores, so they are not eating anything you care about, but they tear up the dirt and your crops as they build their burrow. You and Vase have been dispatched to take care of them. You meet Cal in the geoponics already pleading his case, but why you should leave them alone. They're nesting, they don't mean us any harm, and their poop helps fertilize the fields. If you want them gone, we don't have to kill them. That's ridiculous. Nesting or not, they're still a nuisance. There's hundreds now, but in a few days there might be thousands. What are you going to do then? Cry how you should have helped you sooner? Well, Ophelia, what do you think? Which one of these will help more? I'm just gonna pick them off one by one. Why? Because the only reason I'm choosing this one is because I don't know what this card is and if it's good. Pest control as a card. But this card, this 4 would help. +6 if this has the highest value. I could help in the beginning and give you a 10. Let's encourage him to leave. It's -1 to that, okay. You and Cal hatch a plan to entice the annoying little pest to go dig outside the walls where they belong. Cal pours float cow urine down the burrows and flushes them out, and you hear the fuzzy, nearly blind moles out of the front gate and all the way into the jungle. A little bit of carrot, a little bit of stick, and a little bit of carrot, a little bit of stick. If they get snapped up by predators, well, that's just the circle of life. Cal is grateful for your peace and chance. He doesn't want to responsible for killing anything just because it's an inconvenience to the colony. Okay. There we go. There we go. Actually, let's take this, put this. A 2. Then we're gonna work on, I need toughness. This gives us toughness and we can hang out with Rex. After Chief Administrator Seek, the unofficial heads of the construction crew are Aluminum and Burnish, Mars's dads. Oh, those Mars's dads. We finally meet them. You don't know them very well, but they're great supervisors. Honest, friendly, straightforward guys with wide shoulders, strong backs, and soft hearts. They're really nothing like Mars at all. How did that happen? You're working with them while they tear down the internal walls of heliopause, scoring edges carefully with plaza cutters, then using sledgehammers to knock great sheets of metal free. What are we using the sheets for? Reinforce the garrisons and other new buildings, Al replies, wiping his forehead with the back of his hairy arm. The plaza cutters really crank up the heat in these small metal rooms. All these bulkheads and hallways were important safety features in space. You don't want to explosively decompress the whole ship, you know, but here in V, we have a different needs. Why can't we just mine metal? Sure, just go ahead and get out there with a pick and... Bernie, we're a long way from being able to mine and smelt here on V. If we do that, do it all, mining is extremely destructive. We need to ensure that we have reuse what we have here first. Help them work. You'll learn a lot working with Al and Bernie. They look like big tough guys, but like most people in the colony, they really care about the sustainability and doing the right thing, and they love to talk while they work, with no shortage of gossip about the other adults. There's where Mars gets it from. If you keep your eyes open, you're gonna learn more here than just to smash stuff and nail things back together. There we go. Plus, oh, 2 stars. This year, Governor Lur's ascension to the Vermilion stage is heralded by an entire military band. Their instrumental, shiny, and nano-printed new. They march out of the command in formation, splitting and forming phalanx at the foot of the stage, and as Lum takes his place before you. Spotlights turn on with a heavy ka-chunk noise, illuminating Loom in a halo of floating dust particles. He spreads his arm wide. Hello, V! His voice booms over a speaker. Are we winning or what? I fucking hate him. The reactions is mixed. You look around. It's easy to see the ones cheering the loudest are Helios and people who fully adopted their mentality like Nimi. The Stratters are more reserved, some even silent. Security Chief Red is one of them, his usual stony expression hiding his true feelings. Regardless, there's enough cheering that the Looms has to wait for it to die down before he continues. We're killing it out there, people. Every day we claw a little more territory for the savage aliens of this planet. A Watu pod arcs through the air and lands with a broken splot and Loom's feet, splatting him with juice. You don't see who threw it, but the faction from Geoponics is looking restless. They begin to jeer and stomp their feet. Lum continues on, raising his fist. Those Xenos attacked us first, and now they're learning don't mess with the humankind. The crowd is now evenly split between cheering and booing. The Stratos are agitated, and you hear the calls for things to return to how they were, and how Loom and his soldiers are killing the planet. Even the council line up before the stage facing the crowd looks conflicted. That ain't how it is. Utopia turns to holler up and hollers at Balloon. You don't even know what it's like out there. You just send folks out to die for your stupid war. Utopia hops on stage and routes her own here speak through the speakers. He's lying. This year we lost 2 surveyors in the swamps, Surreal and Quinnen. They'd be alive today if Loom hadn't sent them out to clear out a manicore den for no good reason. She jams her finger against the governor's chest. You're the only threat to our colony here is you. Loom's smile doesn't change, but his eyes go cold. He snatches Utopia's hands and calmly, slowly crushes her holopalm crystal with his thumb. You can hear the crunch of the bone in her hand before he cuts out. Utopia yelps as her knees buckle with the pain. Her bravado gone, she holds her broken hand to her chest and and is too shocked to resist when Loom shoves her off stage. The crowd is stunned into silence as well. Loom clears his throat and approaches the end of the stage, looming tall over the council. "Thank you for your input," he says icily. "Your concerns have been noted. This isn't a buffoon Lum present. This isn't the buffoon Lum presents on his daily holovogs or his nuance he is when he visits a worksite. He sees something in his eyes you've only caught glimpses of before: hatred. You Stratos are lucky we didn't crush you under our boots and take your colony by force. Before we got here, this colony was doomed. You're only alive because I was merciful. Just a bunch of burned out hippie fugitives. What was a plan for surviving out here? Wishful thinking, singing songs, and talking to animals?" Laughter ripples through the Helios. "You," he gestures to the council, then jerks his thumb at his chest, "need us, not the other way around. I'm done pretending I need to listen to your opinions. If you want to live, you'll do what I say." He starts at Dr. Instant, who glares up at him with a hate in her eyes she has as she tends Utopia's hand. "Maybe it's time to clean house. We need a team players here, ones who share one vision of the future of V." After a few tense moments, he clears her throat. "Sir, shall I continue with the traditional formalities now?" Liam scowls down his seat and throws his hands in the air. "Whatever, do it. Makes you feel better. You're all cowards." I'm just gonna go find Dis, because fuck them. Look everywhere, but Dis is nowhere to be found. He's not up at the wall or the robotics lab or hanging outside the expeditions. He's gone. Not even Congruence can get a read on his location. You grow steadily more anxious. The late sunset comes and goes. Where could he be? The festival continues after sunset, and a huge bonfire Raku dancing. Someone's carrying a trippet over from the ranch to be skewed and roasted over the flames. You're far enough away that you can't hear the plant-like creatures dying, wheezing, but the smell of roasting flesh is hard to escape. As the party winds down, you catch a sight of a familiar shadow creeping through the front gates. Congruence cheerfully informs you that she's now has located data for Diz. You breathe a sigh of relief. At least he's home. But where was he? The weeks after V Fest is one of the hottest since you landed. You're supposed to take time off for a much-needed break, but it's just so humid and awful. The tempers are short. Shortly after the festival, you start seeing graffiti cropping up everywhere. It seems that a lively, if not particularly civil, conversation between the two factions is being held on a flat surface on the colony. Loom announces zero tolerance policy for political graffiti, but you notice that not every tag is being removed, just the ones against war, of course. The atmosphere of the colony's presence is thick, and as the choking dust heats itself. Everywhere you try to relax, people just want to talk about the war. To make matters worse, the sweltering nights are making your nightmares intense again. You return to work feeling more stressed than before. Draw an extra card at the start of the challenge effects stack. Lord. I need to work on organizing. I have another place on my belt, so I'm gonna go do this. We work often overlaps with Tangent's work in the biochemistry and genetics lab, so it's not uncommon for her to pop by and ask questions about what you're working on, and for you to ask her to help interpret some results. She's uncharacteristically animated whenever she gets to talk about science, almost like she's a whole different person. She even laughs sometimes. Don't you think it's so interesting how V species resist being classified by any known taxonomy? She asks, peering into the room network you've sandwiched between a piece of clear glass. She stands up. It feels like everything is a little bit fungal. Spores, fruiting bodies, bicellular networks, even in animals. Some animals even have photosynthesize. The division between planet animal and the fungus is less strict here than it was on Earth. At the cellular level, many animal species have properties of plants, and vice versa. She launches into an explanation how high energy bonds store energy to require metal catalysts, like iron in human blood and chlorophyll in green earth plants. But how the different hues of these plants must mean that they use an entirely unknown elemental catalyst, possibly even a metal at all. Not even a metal at all. It's a little advanced for you, but Tange is very excited about it. She stops and takes a breath and winds out her monologue. Zounds, Ophelia. If V plants and animals share an elemental catalyst, we found out what it is, we could learn so much about the planet. Help advance the theory. You show Tangent what you've been working on, all the samples and simulations that result in the scan's experiments. Incredible, Tangent says, going over your notes. You've been attempting to map the genomes of the various samples in order to construct a phylogenetic tree, but we're at the capacity already. Can I take this? Of course. Tangent smiles. Thank you, Ophelia. There is more helpful than I can say. I don't even know what a straight is, if I'm gonna be honest. Maybe we do... Oh, hey, you want to speak? You spot Rick carrying supplies and a big piece of wood into a huge, tarped up section of the end of the lounge. He waves at you, well, as much as you wave as he can do with his armful of mushwood. Hey, Ophelia, he calls out, have you come to see the bar? You give Rex a questioning look. The bar? You don't know Rex super well, and you haven't heard anything about a bar. He gestures to the tarps. My bar. I've been working on a special project ever since I joined the construction crew. The colony needs a place to cut loose. You dig? He looks up at you, beaming with pride. I think it's about halfway done. You take a look at what you can see. Rex has kept all pretty well tarped up, and hates letting people inside to peek, but you can tell it's big. Perhaps a little too big. Ambitious, maybe, for the first solo construction project. But Rex has a lot to help from his crew and from the whole colony. He'd have to be able to find enough wood. I'm sure it'll be great. Rex comes over to you and slings you into one armed hug. Just seeing you makes me super energized, he said. I can almost hear the music now. That's right, the bar's gonna have live music. You know, anyone who can play an instrument? I'm gonna work double time to finish the place. If you want to help, bring me all the mushwood you can find. You want mushwood? Take it. Nothing a dog likes more than a stick, right? Oh, and I'll give you a hug. There you go. My dog. When I'm going to... Persuasion and organization. That'll be fine. At the next SFC club meeting, Mars is frustrated that it's just you, Mars, Tange, and Cal. So I talked to Lum. Not about the club, okay? I know how to keep a secret. I just wanted to get to know him better and to see if he would be interested in a little extracurricular activities. Tan smirks. Long story short, Lim is a total idiot. All he wants to talk about is how the colony is going to keep winning and winning, and how he wants me to help him make HoloNet videos for propaganda like, oh, look, we're doing so good, yay. I mean, first of all, yuck. Second of all, double yuck. He just went to sit in the desk all day and pretend like he doesn't see what's going on outside. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's actually worse than etiquette. Mars, what are we gonna do about this planky nullhead? We need to overthrow the governor. Mars' eyes go wide. Well, we could. Why not? If you want a better future, we have to build it for ourselves. Lum's war of nature is really bad too. It's like he thinks everything will be okay if we just hunt all the animals here to extinction. But if he does, it's gonna screw up the food chain real bad. You look at the little SFC pen on the shirt and you realize your silly childhood secret club might be turned into a bit of political organization. I hope so. Overthrow the government. Fuck them. Especially fuck him. Yeah. I'm here to overthrow the government because the Helios are pissing me off. What's this kid's birthday? Midwet. Empathy and empathy. Hey, hey. Engineering and reasoning. Reasoning. Okay. We'll tutor the children. You head back to the quarters at the end of the day. As you pass the med bay, you hear the shouts of scrambling within. Several surveyors have come back for serious wounds, not usually broken limbs or sunstrokes. One of them is holding a towel on her own leg, staunched blood flow for the massive animal bite. Another looks nearly blinded from acid. It looks like chaos in there. I'll help. Gosh, it's a good thing you were here. Triaging and getting the most badly wounded into the med bay is difficult, and the other need traditional medical attention while they wait. It's hectic, stressful work, but you're able to keep your head and provide assistance. Good work in there, Ophelia. You know, with how the colony's grown, I could use an assistant nurse here, someone I can trust to take care of things while I'm working in the lab. Come back next month and give me a hand if you're interested. Ooh, a 3-star. I want to give him a birthday cake because I want to believe that he's gonna be a good guy one day. Maybe he'll overthrow the government with us. Think? I have doubts, if I'm being honest. Much of a pussy. Have a cake for your birthday. Birthday cake? Yeah, Cindy's just, do you think I'm, yeah, well, whatever. Yes? Ophelia, he tells you. Just the person I want to see. Come with me. Vase leads you through the labyrinth of corridors of the garrison to where the soldiers are housed. Most of the people who arrived at Helio have moved into colony housing and the rooms covered into storage, but not surprising to learn that Vase is one of the holdouts. Vase's room is humble, but far from utilitarian. As the motion sensors lights flicker on, the first thing you notice is the full space travel paraphernalia, star chart, ship schematics, flight panels, and the like. A hologram of a small personal class spaceship hovers in the corner. As you gawk, Vase shoves your shoulder lightly and moves the room. It's too bloody noisy out there on the floor, and I wanted to ask you something. Have you ever wanted to just leave? He starts giving you a thoughtful look. You know, to get away from all the terrestrial bullshit and return to the skies where you were born? Nearly constantly. He laughs humorously. Yeah, of course, I knew you were one of the smart ones. This colony, this planet, it's too small. It's just He continues looking around the room. I can't help but feel like the space is where I belong. I always wanted to be a spaceship pilot more than a soldier. It suits you. Hell yeah, it does. I don't want to be a soldier the rest of my life, that's for sure. Not on the shithole of a planet protecting people who don't even want me to be here. Pass. He shakes his head. Nah, space is where it's at. Oh! A little thingy. Oh. This colony just feels a little small for someone of my caliber, he says, looking around the cluttered room. I miss zero G, and knowing that only a thin skin of metal and your own wits protect you from the vacuum of space. When we came through the wormhole, when our bridge was destroyed and everyone thought we were going to die, in that moment, everyone on the ship was one cohesive organism, and we were going to live or die the strength of our bonds and our training. It was an adrenaline rush that nothing could ever match. Anyway, I think I want to return to space and my own spacecraft, Vague says, filling with the dials on the holoprojector, little ship so that it flickers. Just a little one, enough room for 2 people and some cargo. He looks at you. I need a second in command, he says, continue. Someone to compliment me. Someone who knows is going to have my back. I do my best work on my back. How could I not say it? When it's a line like that, how can I not say it? I do my best work on my back. Advanced Sword Slasher shakes his head. Easy, soldier, he says, but smiling. I'm being serious here. Base eyes dart over the wall of his bunk, where you can see a few personal photos enterprising along with the spaceship stuff. Nothing's keeping me here, anyway. My mom slipped when I was a baby for all the good it did her still being stuck on the same spaceship with us, pretending I didn't exist. And my dad died about 2 years before we came through the wormhole. Base mouse quirks in the corner. Figured you know a little something about that, being an orphan and all. That sucks. Not really. My dad was a mediocre soldier and authority issue. He liked to fight and he wasn't smart enough to do it right. And got his ass bounced from the program and put into civilian roster. And the tone of Vince's voice being called a civilian is probably the worst punishment he can imagine. Turns out resisting authority was the only thing keeping the shithead together. He filled the vacuum with drinking and trying to knock me around. He filled the vacuum with drinking and trying to knock me around until he couldn't even do that because I moved into a barracks as soon as they let me. Eventually, the old man got in a fight he couldn't win. Vance shrugs. Fell down a bunch of stairs, I guess. Vance runs his hands through the hollow projection thoughtfully. It's bloody weird. In my earliest memories, I remember idolizing for being tough. And I spent my childhood hating him and the rest of my life pitying him for what goddamn weakling he was. He puts his hand down and flicks off the hollow projector. That's why I want to go to space. I don't want to end up like the sad old man fighting and drinking until it all gets to be too much and I sodding well snap. I want to make my own name for myself in the stars. Sick. You can do it, buddy. Oh yeah, we should see what that nursing does. What does that give you? It's at the school, right? Biology and empathy. Ooh, empathy. Let's go. You report to your first shift at Dr. Instance, nursing assistant. Instance was never supposed to be the literal doctor for everyone in the colony. All the colony's medical needs were supposed to be covered by the med bays and then eventually with trained medical professionals from your generation. With a growing number of wounded and sick, it's pulling Instance's attention away from her actual work in the lab, hence why she needs the help. I'm a doctor, not a physician, Instance grumbles as she swipes through the holopalm to give you the access to the medbay system. I can study the local xenofauna so it stops killing us, or I could treat burns and upset tummies. I can't do both. There, she says with the haptics of your holopalm pulse. You should have access. Now, don't bother me for anything less than cranial bleeding. It's medbay, not a jar of leeches. Just follow the instructions and push the right buttons. You need something, ask. Congruence. Congruence beams you from the holometer. Can you handle that? I can handle anything. That's the spirit. It's you and me, Ophelia. High five. You gently bonk Congruence's panel with your open palm, and she laughs. There's no patients today, so you're just going to brush up on your first aid training. Every colonist gets first aid training starting at their early teens. Lungs gotta breathe, heart's gotta beat, blood should stay inside the body. Check. You run through the quiz scenarios with Congruence for the whole week. CPR, elevate and put pressure on wounds, wrap broken bows, flush eyes with water, leave foreign objects in, and be real careful with neck injuries. Fun fact, Congruence informs you. In the field, your holopalm can discharge its battery all at once as a makeshift defibrillator. First aid is important, but the goal is just to get the person stable long enough for them to bring them here to medbay. That's where you and the doctor instance will take over. You'll be fine. It might only be a matter of life or death. No biggie. Ah, we got it. Not that bad. My mouth is getting dried out from talking. Biology. Mid-wet. Late wet. Need persuasion, I think. And organization. Organizing 2. That has 2 organizing, right? 3 organizing, 3 persuasion. Says the governor. Being Loom's assistant isn't the glamorous life of political intrigue you were hoping for. He's more of a soldier than a politician. Even then, you hear he's not much of a soldier either. If he notices that people mock him, he doesn't seem to care. It almost makes him more boastful, like he thinks the sole duty of a governor is to soak up as much attention and power as wields however he likes. Whenever he's questioned on something, he unleashes such a torrent of bravado and barely bunch of threats that is impossible to make on your own point, and then he just pushes through what he wants to do anyway. It's infuriating. Given the colony's governance has based around the idea of communication and empathy, no one seems to know how to contain him. As for the Helios, they seem to have their own ways to get around him. They're grateful he's gotten into politics because that means your older and more experienced security chief, Rhett, makes all but the largest military decisions. In fact, you think some of them enjoy that he's such a moron because they hope the colony fails. They think he's entertaining. Mars is responsible for producing his social media content, which he considers an important part of his brand, the most consistent of powerful sounding but ultimately empty speeches about how great the colony is doing and how proud everyone should be of their really, really, truly great work. Just fantastic, really. Usually while carrying a log of mushwood on his wood so he looks super strong. You and Mars are huddled in command, trying to avoid his attention while Mars scrolls through the Loom selfies rule, trying to pick the best for one for social media. As a political strategy, is not unheard of, she mutters. Plenty of Earth dictators used it. I just can't tell you if it's his official strategy or if he really is this vain. You hear footsteps approaching. Mars groans. Lum claps his hand on her shoulder and smiles broadly. There you are. I was thinking in the next video, I think the colony is ready to see some of the footage from the counterattack I led against enemy aliens. Oh, stars. You remember this? When playing the footage of the time he charged in a battle nearly got everyone killed with explosives. You cringe as you remember it wasn't your finest moment either. Can't believe this is the footage he wants to hold up as proof of his bravery and vision. This is great footage, Marge simpers. Just really great. It's actually perfect for Ophelia to practice working on her video editing skills. You shoot Mars a stinky look, but she just smiles. Lim agrees. With such great material, he practically did the job for you. How are you going to spit the propaganda? Try and make him look bad. Because he sucks. There we go. 30. $28. Two stars. You crack your knuckles to send the looms worse than a joke. You make him a meme. Mars cackles when she watches a video and then hits send. It's perfect. I don't care if he looks bad. Garbage in, garbage out, you know? She sighs wistfully as people start to react to the video. I would give so much better source material. Fuck that dude. I need a break soon. And it is the glow. So that means another year almost over and a big fight ahead. So we're just gonna have to end it on this note, I think. Let's go check to see if Dis doesn't want to talk first. Our bestest friend in the world. Oh, he's not out. This. Where would this be? You're not out? This is hiding. That's okay. Not everyone needs to be out of the glow. Oh no, here there he is. Oh, I did get something for you. Oh no, I already gave it to you. It was like a... what's it called? A medicinal plant. Here you go. I don't know what you'll do with it. You use it, buddy. Not that hard. I don't know what you like. Oh, we can study together. You can have a crystal. Okay. Yep, we're gonna end this episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. You have the most wonderful days.